Yeah, but this is...
Oh, the best track in the world.
Yeah, bring that. If you missed those lines,
It's true.
you're dead.
Look how far you pushed me. The Trans Madeira 2023, me and Steve went out to that race together, and we're going to have a little recap. This is super good for me because I, at the bottom of every stage, got a sort of download of how Steve's runs went, but obviously never got to see it. But you'll remember all of this.
I do remember all it. Well, most of it vividly. This, it's 9 months ago, but this vividly, I still remember how wet it was, how cold it was, and how pedally this track was.
And they talk about all the amazing views you get in Madeira, and then we got driven to the top, we put in a cloud, and then this is like the qualifier, isn't it? It is a race stage, but it's flat for the majority of the start.
So this footage as well, and this sounds like I'm completely over exaggerating. Within 5 meters of starting, I could see nothing. This is 100%. This GoPro footage is 100% better visibility than I could see.
You had. I took my lens out.
I wish
I
I'd
often
done
do at enduro races because they're longer runs than downhill runs. You get a bit of rain on your lens. It's way worse than mud. It just distorts everything. Did you crash on this one?
Yeah, so I crashed further down, and the year previous I crashed on this stage. No, I crashed on day one, broke my scapula, and the start of this stage I was thinking, just don't crash whatever you do. Just get down the stage, whatever you do.
And you knew it was an easy stage.
I knew it was an easy stage, which is why at one point I was sitting down, trying to wipe my goggles, and crashed.
There we go. Do you want to go forward?
No, this is it. Yeah, this is it.
Here?
Yeah, it's so simple because I was literally sat down here. Yeah, but
What did you hurt again?
so it wasn't this crash because at this point I was swearing at myself, going, "Why did you crash there? It literally it's dead flat."
Look how tired you are.
Yeah. Bring that. That's the one that broke my finger because I put it in that log.
Literally straight after. Right there. It's not a big crash.
No, I must have sworn after this. Oh, I was too out of breath.
Did you know you'd hurt it?
No, not at all. The whole of that day, it just felt numb, but it was also cold, wasn't it? So I didn't think I'd hurt it at all. This is stage 3, isn't it? This is the...
Yeah, you're behind me.
This is the national downhill track in Portugal, is that right? Long one, super long one.
Yeah,
And
I remember this.
I knew. So this is the exact track that I crashed and broke my shoulder on. So I knew exactly it because it was kind of embedded into my head.
And at this point...
I knew this corner was there and you didn't.
Yeah.
So in my head,
me?
Yeah, that's you. In my head, I was thinking, oh, Jono doesn't know this corner's coming up. I'm going to flip in, smash it around here.
And do me.
Watch what happens.
Did I wait for you? Oh no, I slid out as well. Yeah. So this is quite a big race for Steve and I. Trans Madeira is a big deal. And it's going well.
Started so well.
As if you remembered that was there.
I knew exactly it was there. In my head, I was like, there's a big left-hand turn coming up. But didn't help me, did it?
This weather, man. Because you always finish in the sun. The final days are on the good bit of the island. You always forget that it was like this to start with. Well, it isn't every year.
It was.
It was quite bleak.
It was bleak, wasn't it?
It lenses out. But you get so hot on the climbs, you end up just riding in a jersey, don't you?
Yeah.
But any time you stop, it was cold those days. What are these?
So this is so that was stage 3, wasn't it? There was a massive transition halfway through the day, and then Hole in Ron's is that most famous track on the island? No, it's not.
Yeah. Did you see a video went viral recently of people hitting that chain? Like,
yes.
That's at the top of Hole in One. Did you recognise it?
Yeah, exactly.
The chain. That is it. That is the chain by the golf course.
Yeah. It's amazing I haven't done anything with that
look
chain,
at
isn't
the
it?
difference. This is still day one.
So this, I remember the top of this stage, we thought it was going to be wet, and as soon as we rolled in into that first over this bit into the trees, it just turns to dust almost instantly. Such a weird island, the way it changes conditions.
I miss this. Look at it. Quite dusty to follow. I want to fast forward to the bit at the bottom section. It's so good. When you go past that antenna and it all goes rocky.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? This is the first time I'd done a full run on this because I hadn't ever.
Because you got injured.
I got injured the last one, yeah.
How's your thumb at this point? Or finger?
Fine.
What was it?
Totally fine. Day one,
Thumb or finger?
little finger. Day one caused no issues whatsoever. It just felt numb.
That's surprising because you're not keeping up with me. I thought there must have been a problem.
I think I catch you on a pedal at some point, don't I? Do you remember turning round and going, "Oh, he's holding me in"?
Maybe,
It was further up, I'm sure it was. Do you remember Keelan Grant catching us up at this stage?
I don't want to talk about it.
How far did he start behind us? About 30 seconds
Yeah.
behind us, and he put 30 seconds into
I got
us.
arm pump down here.
I could barely hold on, and that was nothing to do with my finger. That was just literally just not being able.
But
to
this
hold
bit
on
isn't
to
rough. I'm playing it in fast forward, but none of this is rough. But it's just your heart rate goes through the roof, and then your
Yeah.
arms pump up.
And this is fairly smooth, isn't it? Really, but you're still working, and
Yeah.
then it gets rocky. Which, if you rode it in sections, it doesn't really matter because it's not that rocky.
No,
But when
and
you're
there's nothing
hanging-
too gnarly, but the rocky bit feels gnarly when you're tired, huh?
Yeah,
It's coming up now, isn't it?
yeah. After this, it like crosses a path, doesn't it? Up here, crosses like a
You
road.
meet this
yeah.
road and then you go in. Let's have a
And that's sketchy. That little roll into it.
look at the sea in the distance.
What a view from the top of this track. Do you remember the bit at the end of this track, the little track you roll down to the
Yeah.
to the town? It was the sketchiest thing
hairpin
in the
bit.
world. The hairpin bends, and if anyone's brakes failed, they're
Brown
not,
bread.
they're not
I was thinking I'm going to
surviving.
hit my head on this.
Yeah,
Right, it gets gnarly here, I think.
yeah. Some of these corners are like it's
Really
very-
blind. 'Cause the
really
bushes,
blind,
you can't see
and
how
then-
much of a corner there is.
and you come into some of them. There's a huge rock on the other side of it.
Yeah. Oh, it never looks bad on camera. That's bad. Look at the town. Just think if you crash, you can end up there.
You'd fall a long way, wouldn't you?
Remember those kebabs we had?
I've got to
Oh,
rewind
I know
that
what-
bit.
I know this
This was stage 4.
Is that
The Hockens Hall's following you, but I wish we had your footage to splice into there. What did you do around that corner that made Matt hit you?
I just couldn't make the corner, and I braked so hard that I like endoed, and then just had to go off the side. And I wasn't going to go off
You
the
weren't
side.
gonna go off the side,
I was
no.
just, when you pause and you're teetering, and then he just shunted me, which is funny for everyone else. And I was leading, wasn't I? Because I was still trying to
Yeah.
get a result.
It must be one of these corners.
I won this stage the time I did it previously. Oh, he's nearly crashed as well. Who's that, Dave?
Yeah.
So annoying.
It's a shame the video couldn't see it, because I could see it out the side looking down. I could see the next corner.
Do you remember George Eccleston was in
Yeah,
the train? He
he
had
was
a big
fantastic.
crash down here that you wouldn't have seen.
Oh, because you would have joined behind him
Yeah.
and Chris Kyle.
And Chris Kyle had a big crash.
Because he was following me. This stage was mint. I love this stage. I think this is my favourite stage of day one. Whoops. Yeah, this
How
is wicked.
good! I'd done it the previous years and took it quite serious and sort of rode on my own and things. But to do it in trains like this, if anyone goes to do that race, just ride with your mates in trains, because you'll start the first day thinking, I'm here for a reason, I want to do well, I want to beat so and so, but you'll have so many problems, mechanicals and crashes, that by day 3 or 4, it'll all be fun. Here, look, this bit where they've stopped.
That's unbelievable. That's the cliff,
That's
isn't it?
like
That is the cliff.
The
on
famous cliff that you see pictures of, and the ocean's right down beneath you. But it's actually all right. I always thought, how on earth can they put a course next to it? But you wouldn't die. You
I'd be
wouldn't
scarier. I'd find it
feels that way.
scarier stood where he is than riding this bit of the track.
Yeah, which goes to show.
Because it's close, isn't it? But it is like up there as well. It's
Oh,
close.
I wish we were back there.
But like the guys that keep their race head on the whole week, that's an impressive level of focus for a whole
Yeah.
week, isn't it? I could do
Yeah.
it for a day.
Some
and
people
that's-
do get
that's it.
through basically with no issues, which I don't understand. I'll never understand. What's this?
Oh, this is the next stage. This is the bit. Do you remember this stage?
Final one of the day.
No, not quite. Do you remember we descended into this town down here? Oh, that huge climb back out
Yeah.
of it. But this is the one where it's super rocky with those like crazy tacky turns at the end. This
we go.
that bit with the painted lines. I remember thinking, "Holy crap! If you missed those lines,
It's true.
you're dead." And it's
Yeah.
not like
It's not
tape. It's not
a gate or a fence.
It's some flower
Yeah, so look.
lines.
They are flour. So 2 lines. Imagine that one's rubbed away on the
Yeah.
left.
Or that
and you
one.
just use that.
And you just went, I'll get to the left of this one. You're dead. You're not going to stop. You're not going to stop. You literally missed the track.
Someone must have done.
They must have done.
Good stage, this one. Loads of the rocks, the grippiest rock in the whole world, isn't it?
It's so different to the start of the day, isn't it? So we had mud on the first day, then dust, then this, which is totally different. This is like riding on rock.
Would you say it's an igneous rock?
Yeah, probably. Certainly volcanic.
So yeah. We're having the sea there is so good.
Yeah, go on, skip this one. I bet the turns
It's nice watching someone else's view.
going really slowly. I bet the end of my run on this one, because you got those turns at the end of this run, really good. Do you remember
You
the
have to end around.
pretty gnarly rocky turns?
What's this? Blind left turn. I'm gonna
Oh, I know what this one is. This is the last stage, which would have been the stage after that. The one
Oh,
that
we
comes
were so knackered.
back down into Machiko. That's the town, isn't it? Machiko?
Yeah.
But each one of these left-hand turns was like totally blind, because you weren't leading this
Matt
one. were you?
O'Connell went straight on.
Straight
He's
on.
down there, you can see him.
The only reason I got round that corner was because someone else crashed in front of
Crashed
us.
on it.
Yeah,
But-
because you wouldn't know.
The best thing, whenever you get to a corner that someone crashes on in your group, the tape's obliterated, which just means that everyone else has done it, or half the other people have done it, apart from Keelan Grant.
This track was wicked at the top. Like, apart from those left-hand turns where it's like totally blind, and you knew there was like that one there. It just seems like a small corner to the left. But if you make a mistake,
Did it
you're
have the
going down.
grass at the bottom?
This is the grass at the bottom with all those sniper rocks. I
I
bet
was annoyed because we started towards the back but got so tired through the day. We were like 2 hours behind the rest of the people,
Yeah.
weren't we?
and we had rain on the grass.
And I just thought the grass was so slippy. I'm going to fast forward to it. I bet it will look really slow.
I bet you won't see the rocks as well, because I remember about that grass is from afar. It looks like it's like the bottom of a downhill track where you're riding through a farmer's field, and it looks like you could go really fast. But then when you get there, there's rocks everywhere, and it feels like Fort William, and it feels like you're riding
Yeah.
down the rockiest track in the world,
It looks nothing. You can just hear your rims on the floor, can't you?
just dinging off.
Is that me in the distance? What happened?
Yeah, I was catching you up here, I'm sure. I got fastest time in my category down this one.
You actually are catching me out. I'm moving on. This is fun.
Yeah, that was an eventful day. Loads of crashes. Day 2, those first 2 tracks of day 2 are my favourite. They felt like
So this is day 2.
downhill tracks.
Slippy dirt, this stuff.
Super slippy dirt.
You're trying to go as fast as you can to get your tyres to clear, aren't you?
Yeah,
And it does work if you can get up to speed.
which obviously I,
I don't
didn't-
know what's
which
gonna
I
happen
didn't
here.
hear. Just a little slip.
Embarrassing. It sounds like you're leading the train. I can hear everyone behind you sort of saying,
Or holding up the
Getting out
train.
of the way.
I think I started this. Yeah, probably. I started this following you and Matt, and I ended up way behind you on this one. I still think I won my category in
the
these,
dirt.
in these two.
compare
races.
the igneous rock we just rode, grass, this, dust.
Yeah, we had everything in a day and a half, didn't we?
Yeah.
The dirt gets
It's not
better.
easy in the wet, this stuff, is it?
No, this was super slippy.
Funny.
So this must have been.
I know what this is.
This must have
This
been
is-
stage 4.
This is the best crash. And I've not seen it from your angle. And what's better is we both messed it up.
Yeah,
Let me just go rewind.
I don't know how I managed to do this. So
Who's in front of you there?
this is all. So this is all. This
Matt.
you went, then the Hockenhulls, then Sam Cafane.
Yeah, and
then
I
I'm
was pushing on
following.
down here, but didn't know what was coming. All these corners, it's so narrow. There'll be a little bit of a right, which I didn't. Look how far you pushed me. I need to put the sound on.
Why did I not look at Sam? I started looking at you.
And then you go where you look.
You saved me from going off the track because I was literally right next to the track again. I could get back on and go again.
Oh, how nice are we? You okay,
I'm very
Jono?
polite,
Yeah.
isn't
You
it?
okay? Yeah. I was raging about that one. I don't know why, because we'd already had so many incidents.
And then I punctured and then it all went wrong for both of us.
Oh, yeah. This was a hard track. This was the slippiest of the whole week, I remember, but 100%. Do you remember the next section further down, where it went a little bit steeper? It was like unrideable.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
unrideable.
Yeah, and you had to go around, you had kind of like take a wide line around it. Oh, okay. So that at the bottom of that stage, we fixed the puncture.
This is the same day.
Same day,
Look at the changing conditions.
literally the next
page.
track. And this was the
Green
one,
Eucalyptus, I think.
the top of this track. I remember everyone saying to us, because they were going to cancel this track, weren't they, because it was wet. And at
Yeah.
the top,
It was the gully that just went on and on and on.
yeah, and at the top, he said, 70%, take 70% all the way down. Look, watching that's horrendous because it looks smooth.
I thought your GoPro had come off. That's a genuine crash.
Yeah.
You rolled that much. What the hell?
So that crash, that was when it had been rocky all the way down the top. And I looked at that thinking, that's smooth. And it wasn't smooth.
Oh, did you
And
blow a hand
That's
off?
when my hand came off, yeah.
Okay, I remember where it is now. So rough, but it had all these leaves filling everything in, didn't
Yeah,
it?
and if you look at it on GoPro,
It looks smooth.
it looks smooth. I can't describe.
Beyond rough.
I can't describe how rough that was. I need to ham it up because my hands came off the handlebars. I can't
Is this
really
where
make
you
it
didn't
up.
turn up for ages? I think you broke something on your
Yeah,
bike,
so I
didn't
broke my lever off. I broke my lever off, and my dropper post was stuck all the way up. So the rest of the track was like riding an XC bike down the gnarliest track in the world. This is
you? Oh, the best track in the world, in my opinion. It was a bit more blown out this year. This is the gully
This is
with the best dirt you could imagine. And it feels like you can't come out of the track. Like you're hitting corners, you don't know what's coming up, but you just lean in. It's like a roller coaster.
I remember
Isn't it?
watching this on GoPro and thinking, how are you going to hit the first corner confident? But as soon as you ride that dirt, it's
bizarre.
It's bizarre. I can't describe how.
It's like you can't
go wrong.
mess up.
You can't.
Yeah.
Your front wheel grips, both tires drift, but the whole way down it just.
There's
feels
always a bank that.
There's always a bank at the end of it. Yeah.
Oh. And this track's private, so they only use it for Madeira.
Do they? Do they never?
Yeah, you can't just go and do it. Which I think why it stays in good condition, right? And makes it so special. Look at
It's
it.
unbelievable, isn't it? That's unbelievable. It's almost worth what we went through to get to.
And this day, you have to climb up and over that mountain. So
Yeah.
you do, I don't know, is it 1,200 metres mountain? But you walk with your bike on your shoulders. It's got like steps the whole way up.
It's the second highest peak, isn't it? You walk over the second highest peak.
It might be 1,600. But then you go through tunnels for a couple of hours, which for a
which
tall
is
man like
worse.
Steve is horrific.
It was the most stressful thing of my life. I remember watching my heart rate monitor through the tunnels and
Walking.
panicking, because then my light had turned off and I was literally panicking, thinking I was going to fall in the water.
Look at the track.
Never going to.
And then you're met with this.
And then
If you didn't have this and the final track's equally amazing, I think. To finish that day off. Like all
It'd
the
be-
pain, it
it'd
just
be
reverses
horrendous, wouldn't it?
and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I get it now.
Totally forget about it, yeah.
Is that Reynolds in front of you? Sam
yeah.
Reynolds?
Yeah. This was wicked. You probably can't hear it, but everyone's equally spaced out, so you can see kind of you in the
Screaming.
distance, and you can hear everyone. Maybe you can't hear it over my mouth breathing, but riding it, you could hear everyone from the front of the train to the back of the train. It was wicked.
And then this must be the next one.
That stage
Oh,
was
this is the end of the final stage.
that
This
stage
is a good
was
stage.
equally good, wasn't it? not quite as
Look how
epic as the
knackered everyone
first one.
is. You fist bumping like that. You're like,
Do you remember what we did after this beer?
was it the drinking? So, we're in Madeira with a bunch of heavyweight northerners. And Steve went toe to toe with them for drinking.
I'm not sure I went toe to toe with them.
And I went back to the campsite after a couple to edit videos, didn't I? Because I was
You
vlogging,
escaped.
and I escaped.
You escaped that situation. So basically, we just done the biggest
Stay on a bike you can do.
physical thing I've ever done. Totally dehydrated. Instead of going at the bottom of the road to the sea, we had a right turn back to the camp, where we'd get some food and it would all be very sensible. Or we had a left turn to all the bars. And so we went left, obviously, and got a drink. And then I remember thinking, you went to get your results and to check in and download all your footage.
I took everyone's
that was it,
transponders, didn't I? I
transponders,
took like
yeah.
10 and checked everyone in, so everyone got their times for the day. And then
And then we thought,
did editing and got dinner, thinking that Steve and the boys would be back any minute. I honestly reckon I'd finished doing my video, uploaded it. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and coming up the road, I could just hear Steve, 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 Steve.
there was a slope up to this football stadium that we were camping in, wasn't there? There was a slope, a gentle slope, and I couldn't navigate it. I couldn't get up the slope. They had to come down the slope to get me up.
I had to go and get you and put you in bed. And then, the staff was saying, "Does anyone know this man?" We just rugby board you into your tent. Oh,
That was the worst.
it was good.
It was fantastic, unbelievable. I'd say the worst was the day after. That day was incredible in its entirety, all the way from the
whole
very
trip
start.
was. But the last thing I'll say is the following morning you've got to get a coach to the top of the island where you start every day. They'd get in a coach, bikes on trailers, they take you to the highest point, so you don't have to do as much climbing. And Steve stopped the bus, banged the driver on the back of the head, said stop now, and was just sick on the pavement for the whole coach to watch. Well done, Steve.
Yeah, to their cheers, wasn't it? I remember that vividly.
Well done, dude.
I'm not sure that's worth a fist bump.
Yeah, it is. Madeira.
So weirdly, we didn't have any footage of the next day.
No. I wish I did. I probably do, of you dying.
You must have done. But
felt
all
so
I remember
sorry
that
for
day was rehydrating the entire day.
Coming back to Earth.
Coming back to Earth. And then day 5 was... that was the other side of the island, wasn't it? You basically moved to the other
Deep
side
red
of the island.
dirt. Completely different.
But
no moisture, but so good. We had big trains, really dusty. Yeah, the ones that finish it down by the Levadas and stuff. Unreal tracks.
we should have the last... Do you remember the very last track as well?
Yeah.
The very last track we rode in a train with George leading. Do you remember that one? And he had that massive crash about 4 turns in.
From a really high point.
Yeah, from like the worst
Yeah,
part of the track.
George
it was a
Eccleston led.
big rocky track.
And went over the bars. It probably fell like 2 stories, didn't it? From where he's over the bar started to the bottom. And we're all on the clock with transponders on, but we all just sat there for like 20 minutes getting him right.
Yeah, and then we stopped further down.
But then all realised that we're meant to be racing. We'd all forgotten because we were looking after him, and he was broadly all right. And no, I think he broke something actually.
Probably did, yeah. A big crash.
But erupted in laughter because we remember we were racing and then actually rushed, didn't we? We were like, oh no, like 20 minutes. Sick trip.
Yeah, a wicked trip, wasn't it? You going to do it again?
Yeah, I reckon. Nice one, boy.
Are you going to do multi-stage races again?
Yeah, we'll do another one.
What's next?
You tell me.
Stone King Rally?
Yeah.
Yeah? This year? Next
I
year?
can't say yes on camera because you will just keep playing it to me. No, we'll do one. We'll do one.
Defo. Good. All right. Cheers, dudes.